All right, so here we are with Berkana's beautiful sacred circle, her beautiful mandala. Thank you, honey. I love that it's showing up on your third eye. Let's see, here's one right here. Satya, her beautiful. Let's look at hers. Look at that. Oh, I love that you put that lamp in the center. Yeah, so here we are doing something that's never been done. Ever, ever, ever. Here's Sandrine, beautiful candles going. And as this began to unfold, and as the Star Mothers began to give me, there's a clock in here that goes at the hour, and it's birds singing. The Star Mothers gave me little pieces at a time. So Nancy Cote, emissary and French emissary in Quebec. There she is with her beautiful outdoor grid. Oh, I love the fruit in there, Nancy. Beautiful. Thank you. And so as we have gotten more and more information from the Star Mothers, we've been able to see what exactly they have in mind for this. And I'm looking for, if you have a grid that you'd like everybody to see, you're going to have to turn your camera on, and then I can pin you for a sec so we can see it. Oh, here's Emma's. That is just so pretty. Oh, here we go, Emma, pin. There, isn't that lovely? The Star Mothers were very specific about how to create this, but that came over time. So at first it was just, let's see your beautiful crystals. And so we did that. And then they said, you need to do the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, which is this. And then the next thing was being able to be here in California and have my beautiful host, Monica Morani. There we are. There's a beautiful grid, Kelly Brown. Thank you. There, you can wave to everybody. They can see you. Yeah. Okay, and then we have Fanny. Let's look at Fanny's. Here we are. That's lovely. Oh, I love the purple. Yeah, very nice. So one of the things that the Star Mother said is if you can do it on the ground outside, then we would do it on the ground outside. Obviously, not very many of us can actually be on Zoom and be outside, but then they said to take a picture of it and use it that way. Here's Edith. We're going to take a look at your grid. Oh, and the other thing they said was that we use the activation code cards, just like they are showing here that Edith has with Star Center 11, which is the Gaia card in the middle. So for those of you who don't have the cards or don't know what they look like, let's see if I can find myself and then I can show you. Here I am. Okay. So this is Star Center 11 of the activation codes. And I'm going to pause for a minute and read you what's on the back, because there are 11 cards. There's this deck, and that's what you'll keep seeing with the people that are doing this. And so what better way to begin this meeting than words from the Star Mothers? So this is what they say for Star Center 11. From Mother Gaia comes the origin of your humanity, sending the frequencies of her crystalline grid upwards into your crystalline structure. She is your regenerating strength. Through her, you are stabilized and revitalized. All is in divine order when you acknowledge and esteem your relationship and bond to the Earth Mother. Star Center 11. So this is the card that the Star Mothers had us put in the center of our grid circle as an honoring of Gaia. So I'd like to take a moment to really bring this meeting into its full beginning by doing a little meditation and a little sound, because I have these beautiful bowls right here. So if you would close your eyes, take a breath, and notice that the energy is very strong, but also very cohesive. That in this beautiful time together, where we are in a community of people who are one purpose and like-minded, that there is a coherence in our breath and in our hearts. Take another breath. And let the sound wave carry you over the face of our beautiful Gaia, over the waves, over the trees, over the deserts, over the ice, over the rivers, over the mountains. And feel her love for us. Feel her holding us, supporting us, giving us everything we need to survive and to thrive, as well as to connect. Take another breath. And let's take a few moments to move into what is your intention for creating your crystalline grid, for connecting to the crystalline grid of Gaia, to tapping into your Lemurian Akash and the teachings of the Pleiadian Star Mothers that live in the crystalline grid. That we call that forth to serve us now, to remind us now of why we're here, of who we are, what these communities are about, how we connect, how we support each other, how we learn from the teachings of the Pleiadian Star Mothers. Take a breath and bring that energy all the way through you, from the top of your head to the soles of your feet and into our beautiful Gaia, connecting with her and saying, thank you. Thank you, Mother Gaia. Thank you, Crystalline Grid. And thank you, Star Mothers. Thank you for guiding us and giving us and continuing to unfold wisdom, knowledge, adventures, and what it is that is waiting for us, that is waiting to open, waiting for us to know us, to be us as the wisdom keepers of our age. Take another breath. And feel the love of the Star Mothers wash over you. It may feel like a gentle mist, or it may feel like a wave, as though you were sitting on the shores of the continent of Mu, and the wave of your experience washed over you as you said yes to what is then and yes to what is now. And if you like, you can place your hands on your heart center And take a couple of moments to really anchor in your intention for this time, this magical, once in a lifetime time. Breathing into your intention, anchoring it into the crystalline grid, anchoring it into the stars. And another breath. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you all. So there are over 500 people from across the world here that are creating or have created or will create their crystalline grid. And I posted today, my last post about this were just some crystals on the grass outside with the Star Center 11 card and my bare feet. And I really felt connected to the crystalline grid and to the Star Mothers. It was like, here we are. This is what we came to do, who we came to be. And isn't it just magical and glorious that we have this opportunity? Who knew that when we said yes and we forgot everything that we ever knew and we started over again in this life, that we would have this now, this opportunity, this blessing to really potentiate the energy. Delicious. I think it's so delicious. I'm getting chills. Ooh, thank you. So to begin this most auspicious meeting, what I'd love to do is invite my dear goddess sister, Lemurian sister, Monica Morani, to take this seat, and we will hear from her in this most beautiful way. There you go, guys. So let me move that for you. And take that off right there.
Thank you, dear Star Sister Meliha. It's an honor and privilege to be here with everyone. And for those who do not know me, I will briefly introduce myself. My name is Monica Morani, and my beloved is Lee Carroll, who channels Kryon. And together we share the teachings and messages of Kryon with our soul family who are awakening to bigger truths than what we were told. And so the information that I wish to share this evening, of course, comes from Kryon. And I'd like to take you on a little journey for our galactic history. For Meliha herself said she connected to the crystalline grid and she connected with the Star Mothers. And the Star Mothers, as Kryon has identified, are the Pleiadians. They come from a cluster of stars known as the Pleiades. And it's not just a New Age belief. If we look at Indigenous cultures all over the planet, they will tell you their creation story is that they came from the Pleiades. They came from the 7 sisters. And how we evolved on the planet was through spiritual intervention. And so the galactic lineage is that one planet at a time, those who have developed, the humanoids that have developed, are visited by Star Mothers. And they are given the seeds of divinity. And they have a test of consciousness that they proceed through. And the test is this: can they find the God inside within a certain amount of time? And if they can, they become an ascended planet. And they have abilities such as being able to manipulate physics because they are one with everything. And so once this planet has reached ascension status, they then look around the galaxy for another planet of developing humanoids to see if they too can participate in this test of consciousness. And so the Pleiadian Star Mothers had been on their planet for thousands of years, perhaps even millions of years. And they looked through the galaxy and they saw this beautiful ocean planet known as Earth. And according to Kryon, 200,000 years ago, the Pleiadian Star Mothers came to Earth with the intention of spiritual intervention. And this is the time when the humans, grown from the Earth, were then meeting with the Star Mothers, who through their love and compassion began to mate with the males and create the first generation of humans that had a different chromosome to before. Instead of 24 chromosomes, we end up with the new human that has 23 pairs of chromosomes. And according to Kryon, this took place 200,000 years ago. And this is where it gets interesting. For when we look at what the scientists say, we start to see something that correlates to what Kryon has said. And there's a scientist by the name of Greg Braden who has written many books, and one of them, called Human by Design, talks about a chromosome anomaly, if you will, where we have chromosome number 2 that has an ancient fusion of telomere to telomere that took place approximately 200,000 years ago. And what Kryon has said is that, in fact, we still maintain 24 pairs of chromosome, but the 24th pair is multi-dimensional. Now, at the same time that we were given spiritual DNA, the Pleiadian Star Mothers created the crystalline grid of the Earth. And this is the first time you hear about the crystalline grid. It is a grid that is both esoteric and metaphoric. What is it we know about crystals? Well, crystals hold and store vibration and energy and frequency. And so this crystalline grid that is in partnership with Gaia and the sentience, the life force of Gaia, is a mechanism that records and stores human energy and action. It explains why you can walk into a battlefield and sense an energy that took place. It also explains where you can walk onto ascended land or a place where people have been praying for thousands of years, and you can feel the sweetness, the sacredness. You can feel that energy, and the crystalline grid is responsible for this feelings and sensations. And then we also have what is called the cave of creation, and Kryon talks about the cave of creation is both a physical place within the earth, which will never be found. It holds crystals, but it also has multi-dimensional properties. And within that cave of creation, there is a crystal that aligns with every soul that has ever been and will be on our planet Earth. And what is the purpose of this crystal in the crystalline cave of creation, you may ask? This becomes where your Akashic record resides. It is also within your DNA, and it is also within the cetaceans of the planet, the whales and the dolphins. And so each time we come and go, many, many times, all our energetic imprints are stored within our crystal, within the cave of creation. And when we come through the wind of birth, we come via that cave of creation, and we once again energetically receive all of those imprints back into our body, back into our DNA. And it explains why sometimes we have lifetime after lifetime of those who we call the creatives, who are simply continuing where they left off the last lifetime. Now, the crystalline grid all over the planet knows you. And this is why when we say Gaia knows you, knows who you are, this is the mechanism that records that energy and that action. So every epiphany, every aha moment that you have goes into the crystalline grid of the earth, and it changes the vibration of the whole. So everything that you do has a significant impact for the entire collective of humanity. And in fact, this is why we are now in what is called the Great Shift. And the Great Shift is about a shift in consciousness. For eons, we have lived through the dark ages with a low consciousness, where it was about conquer and war and survival of the fittest. And that is how we have lived for eons, and history keeps on repeating. And yet in 2012, there was a shift of consciousness where we have collectively decided that we want to move into graduate ascension status. And so that event has triggered many things that support us in that desire. Because saying that we want to become an ascended planet doesn't mean it's an automatic thing that occurs. There must be spiritual intervention to push us onto that new track where history will no longer repeat itself. And so some of those spiritual interventions are actually coming to us through the crystalline grid. And so each of you have been tasked by Meliha to create your own crystalline grid. Think of this as a portal that amplifies what is already there for you on the crystalline grid of the earth. And what is it that is being pushed onto that crystalline grid? In fact, Kryon has even said that the ratio of dark and light has been recalibrated so that more light than ever before is being broadcast onto the planet, and it is being recognized more than ever before. It means that things like women's rights matter, things that human rights matter, things such as human trafficking matter. All of these things that come from a low consciousness are being brought to the surface for us to take a look at and to say no more, never again. And within this communication, there starts to be a delivery of information to the 24th chromosome pair, which is in every human on the planet. And with your pure intent, you have the ability to rekindle and receive high consciousness information from both the Pleiadian Star Mothers and from within your own Akashic experience. And for each one of us, that is unique, for we each form a piece of the puzzle of the whole. I am you and you are me. And together we are one as we come through this journey towards ascension. And so this is the crystalline grid, the cave of creation, the Akashic records, and how it all comes into a system of spiritual support and enhancement. And so I ask you, what is it that you would like to create in your life? Perhaps these are things you have created in a past life. Perhaps you have the ability to pull onto those energies. And then, of course, one of the things Kryon always tells us is that our Akashic records are not simply things from the past, but they're things from the future potentials yet to come within the field. Is it possible to pull upon the field of potentials in our future and draw them towards us in our now time? What is possible for you? I will leave that to you to answer for your own self. And so I want to honor the time that I've had to share that information with each one of you. I want to remind you of just how important it is that you take out time for yourself, free from all the pressures that women have as mothers, as wives, as sisters, as aunties, as ones who go to work. All of those things fall onto women, and yet it's so important to take time out for yourself. I love a phrase from Kryon. The honor of my journey is passed on to others in ways I can never imagine. And so it's not about being selfish and saying, I can't do that, I have to think all about me. But it's about recognizing the divinity within you and taking time to spend with that divinity and acknowledging that divinity and asking it to become even more present in your everyday life. And so I'm conscious of wanting the meeting to continue with our beloved star sister Meliha. And again, deep gratitude and thanks for having me join your circle.
Thank you, dear, beautiful Monica. All of those sweet words and that information about the crystalline grid and the cave of creation you may not have known. And for more information about Lemuria and how it was formed and what we did to create that, find this book, The Women of Lemuria. This book was written by Kryon Channels, Monica doing the exemplary editing job, and my experience, my Akashic awakening. And it's 4 years of Kryon Channels to the Lemurian sisterhood. And it's a lot of history, the basic history of how the Star Mothers came to our planet. And as Monica was saying, how they created this spiritual society. So if you want more information about that, you can find that book on kryon.com/store if you'd like to. And there's also an Audible version written by Monica. Yeah, so thank you, honey. Move that down just a little bit. So to go on from here, what I'd like to do is, now that don't have a lot of people coming into the meeting and we've kind of stabilized numbers, I'd like to ask you all to begin to hold a space inside of you that is a space of peace, a space of connection, a space and a place living inside of you where there is an opening for the information that is your Lemurian Akash. It doesn't just come from your Lemurian Akash, it is your Lemurian Akash. And if you are on this meeting you have a Lemurian Akash, and that may be something that you don't understand yet. It may be something you've heard a lot about. But again, in the book, my book with Monica and Lee, you can learn more about that. And I know there are people that haven't been on one of these meetings before, so I want to take a moment to welcome you and everyone to come into that sacred space inside and imagine that the Star Mothers are looking at us right now. I know they've been directing all of this since the first moments of that they gave me the little sacred assignment, little tiny bit to follow. And so I know that they're present with us. And as we make that space inside, I'd like you to try to imagine that you are a sacred vessel. And whatever a vessel looks like to you, maybe it's a bowl or a vase, or maybe it's this body, maybe it's a boat, or anything. Could be this is a vessel. And imagine that you are a beloved vessel and you are seen as a perfect being. And I know we have a hard time thinking of ourselves as perfect because we make mistakes all the time. But that doesn't mean we aren't perfect in our divinity. And that's always expanding. We're always learning about our divinity. We're always peeling back a layer of this doubtful human that gives us more information about who we are as divine. I'd like you to just feel what it would be like if every day you walked through your life as sacred. No matter what's going on, you have the words, I am sacred, I am sacred, I am sacred. Instead of, I forgot this, I shouldn't have done that, I need to eat better, I haven't exercised, whatever that story is. If you're human, you're going to keep having a story. But if along with that story, you are connected to the mantra, I am sacred, and you bring the Star Mothers along with that, because I am sacred, you are sacred, we are sacred ones, is a song that the Star Mothers gave me when I was given the sacred assignment by Kryon to bring back the songs that we sang around the fire in Lemuria. And that was the very first song, I am sacred. And they wanted us to know that. They want us to live that no matter what's going on outside, if you're in the dentist office or if you're late for picking up, groceries or any of that, that can still go on. And you know what happens is that it shifts the potential, like Monica was saying, we have in our Lemurian Akash the potentials. Now, if we are saying something like, oh man, I'm just never good enough, or we compare ourselves to other people and we don't feel worthy, or if we are saying, I am sacred, or anything like that, imagine the difference in what kind of potential can arise if we are living with that belief, telling ourselves, because our cells are listening all the time, telling ourselves of our own sacredness, reminding. There's a place inside of us that knows this, but we need to be reminded. We need our mind to reconnect with our own sacredness, that we are this vessel that is here to carry our divinity into the ascension of this planet. And part of the way we do that is by doing things like this, connecting to the crystalline grid. So if you have your grid already, and if you don't, and you're going to create one later, or if you never create one, that's okay. This is a free will universe, free will world. And you don't have to do anything. You don't even have to stay in this meeting if it doesn't feel right for you. But what I would ask you to do is see if any of this resonates with you. And if it does, see if you want to take it further. And as you do that, feel your way step by step. And when it feels right and says yes to you, you'll know. And you take another step and it feels right to you. You say yes and take another step. So as we move deeper into this time of connecting with the crystalline grid, the teachings of the Pleiadian Star Mothers, of Kryon, the Lemurian teaching wheel, and the shamanic teaching wheel, I just want to say that all of what Monica presented, the kinds of things she spoke about, is coming from the many years she has spent at the side of Lee Carroll and Kryon, and the books she's written, and the Lemurian teaching wheel that came forward to Kryon in 2017 on the Big Island of Hawaii. And then in 2019, the shamanic teaching wheel came from Kryon and the Star Mothers for me, and for me to teach women the advanced teachings of the shamanic teaching wheel. And these are some of the things that we do. We have emissaries that teach groups, and we have other people that do things that really create a strong community within the Lemurian sisterhood, within the teachings of the Star Mothers. And the shamanic teaching wheel is a beautiful community of women who are focused on the deeper teachings, the graduate teachings. And if any of that feels right to you, you can find that on my website, shamanicteachingwheel.com. For now, the grid is calling me, and the Star Mothers are calling me, as they do, as they set this up as one of my sacred assignments. And just for me to say for a moment about sacred assignments, I never knew what that meant or what I was supposed to do about it. But as I was more in touch with the Star Mothers, more of these assignments came up. The Lemurian code cards were a sacred assignment for me. The Lemurian sisterhood was a sacred assignment. The shamanic teaching wheel, the songs of the Lemurian sisterhood, and more recently, these shamanic teaching wheel pendants, which are the same dimensions as the Lemurian teaching wheel, only the Star Mothers gave me more direction on how to create them into a pendant for men and women. So that is a sacred assignment. When it's something that doesn't come from your mind, that you think you have to do or should do, when it's something that bubbles up from inside of you, when it comes from your heart, or when it comes from deep in your belly, when it comes from your Akashic memory, or when it's calling you for the future, to create your future. Those are sacred assignments in the most beautiful way. And what I've learned over time is that I'm not the only one that gets sacred assignments, surely. And I never know where the path will take me. And I'm okay with that. I don't have to have control about it, because I trust that the Star Mothers have my very best and most benevolent interest in their hearts and give that to me. So as we move into a time with a ceremony to connect our crystalline grids or our crystals to the crystalline grid of the earth and the Pleiadian Star Mothers, We're going to meditate for a moment first, just to quiet us and bring us to a place where we can really focus on the grid. And if you'd like to hold your crystals, or if you'd like to hold your cards, or if you want to hold that energy inside of you instead of physically, whatever feels right for you. Listen to that message. What feels right for you? Hold the image, hold the energy inside. As we ask the Star Mothers to step into our circle from a space holding perspective to a teaching perspective. And I ask that they give us the information, the guidance, and of course the loving wisdom that they always do, as we are here together with our intentions, our most beautiful intentions, and our expanded community all across the planet to bring forth the teachings of the Pleiadian Star Mothers from the Crystalline Grid. Take a breath. Dear shining ones, it is indeed a momentous occasion, and we are celebrating in a way that we haven't in many thousands of years. And we wish to acknowledge all of you who are here with our beloved Meliha. You are all our beloveds, and we acknowledge your light, your potentials, what you have created from your beliefs and from your experiences with the Star Mothers, with your crystals, with the Lemurian Activation Codes. This is the most important time. And for those who are listening to this message in the future that is waiting, it will also be a most important time. This time is not linear. Let us reiterate that. This time of this meeting is not linear. It isn't over when it's over. It is ancient and it is futuristic. And though this is happening now, in this moment, there is an echo, there is a reverberation, there is a vibration in the crystalline grid right now, under your feet, wherever you are. The crystalline grid hears you because you are awakening it. You are saying yes, dear shining ones. You are saying yes to your potentials. You are saying yes to your past. And we know that you love to dig into all that beautiful past memories and directions that you received in Lemuria. And that is why the magnetic master is tasked with bringing through so much of this information. And that is why Meliha is tasked with this information also. This is the time, and you are the one. And isn't that exciting? Take a breath and feel that inside of you. Imagine that effervescence of celebration that's saying yes to, finally, we are here. We are here to be the light. We are here to live the wisdom, to be the wisdom teachers, the leaders. And now in this, what you call super full moon in the astrological sign of Aquarius, is the very perfect time for those of you who are leaders to look to what is it that you can release at this full moon time. What shadow of the moon can you release that will bring you into a more benevolent leadership position? And we will also say that you are all leaders, whether you are introverts or extroverts, whether you feel that you are teachers or you would rather sit back. That is not what's happening here. What's happening here is the birth of leadership. It's the opening of the door that you have been standing with your nose against lifetimes. So take a breath and open the door, throw open the windows, blow off the roof. Let there be no limits to what you say yes to what you let go of that brings you into your place, into your honored place of leadership. So as you connect with us and as we stand, metaphorically, of course, with you, and as the energy of our teachings is called forth now from all over this beautiful planet, you are the ones calling it forth. Say yes. Say yes. I call the information. I call the guidance. I call my wisdom. I call my memories. I call my soul from the past to the present. And I ask it to look toward my future and give me everything I need to be the magnificent, sacred one that I was born to be. Take a breath. It is your birthright, beloved ones. You have it around you in the 24th chromosome. You have it in your Merkaba. You have it in your cells. You have it in the teachings that are available to you. And you have it in the teachers that you will be. You have made a commitment by coming to this meeting. And we have told Meliha, and we tell you that as a collective, you can't not imagine what your call has done to bring the light forward. You do not have a point of reference. This has never happened on this planet. Even in Lemuria, there was no need to do what you're doing now because you were there, that was then, this is now. And our teachings, 200,000 of teachings living in the crystals, in the grids you have created, connecting to the grids where our teachings are. Life on Earth will never be the same, we predict, quite happily. More light, more wisdom, more sacredness, more joy, more deliciousness of learning and knowing and loving self, loving others, creating community, receiving the wheel teachings. This is what you came for. And this is why we are here, to stand in the circle, to give you back in our mirror of love, to give you back what you already know, to wake it up, to bring it up, to open it out, to bring the light to these sacred teachings. There will be more. Meleha does not know this, but there will be more. We ask you before we step back. We ask you, when you are not in this meeting, before you disassemble your beautiful crystal wheels, we ask you to write your intention for connection to the crystalline grid. Whether it be connecting to the past, serving you in the present, or guiding you into the future, perhaps it is all three. We ask you to write that down. Write it down. Get it really clear. Write it until you can say it with such conviction that the crystalline grid echoes it back to you. And it says, we hear you. We are with you. And so we close our part of this sacred circle, of this worldwide grid. We close and we continue our celebration as we step back. And take a breath. When you're ready, you can slowly and gently begin to open your eyes, come back into the present. What a beautiful and sacred time together. I would love if you, those of you who created wheels, whether it be with the cards or not, to post pictures of them on the Lemurian Sisterhood Global Community page. And if you're not a member of that, please do that. It's easy enough. You just have to answer a few questions. And if you want to learn more about the cards, on my website, you can get it through Amber Wolf, PhD, or Lemurian Codes, Lemurian Activation Codes. You can look that up on Google. There's also a Facebook group for people with these. The Star Mothers gave me these as a sacred assignment way back in 2017. And they wanted to use these cards specifically because they speak to activating the star centers in our physical body, formerly known as chakras. So there are 11 cards. And we know we don't have 11 chakras, but there are other places that we use them. So if that interests you, there they are. The Star Mothers asked that not to use other cards to create the circles, to just use the crystals was fine. You don't have to have the cards, you can just use crystals. And if you followed any of this on any of my Facebook pages, you've seen grids that I've created from just crystals. The idea is you're still connecting to the crystalline grid. And that is why we're here. So before we close our circle, I would like to one more time go through and see if we missed anybody's beautiful grids. We didn't see this one, so let's pin this grid. Rinsky? She's got quite a crystal there. Beautiful. And the Star Mothers also asked that the 5 spokes that we used for the center between the middle crystal and the outer circle be of things from the natural world. So flowers, sticks, little stones, could be shells. Oh, there's Nancy's. We could see it. Okay, I'm going to go to the next page here and see. Tracy, we didn't see yours, I don't think. There. Beautiful with the candles. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, lovely. And then we have Sue Murphy. We haven't seen her, so let's look at that. Oh, very nice. Aren't they all just so different and so wonderful? And you can see here where she's used some beautiful tree branches as the 5 spokes, and that represents the spokes of the shamanic teaching wheel. And who else didn't we see? Oh, Bic Luan, you're here. Wait, where'd you go? There you are. Yeah. Look at that. She's one of our emissaries also from across the big water.
Amber,
Yes, honey.
we have the gift of the 12
Oh,
foundation.
yeah, you can talk about that if you would. Where is you?
Okay, where is me?
Yeah,
I is here. I is here.
I'm looking. Okay, I got it. Oh, there you are. There you are. There you are. Okay, so I'm gonna let Mindy talk to you from across the country from me. Hi, Mindy. It's nice
Hi,
to
everyone. What we put together as a gift to all of you, if you're ready to go deeper, do some bigger work, take that next step, we put together an offer for you that I'll drop in the chat when I'm not talking. And it's an offer for to step into the 12 foundational wisdom women teachings. And we have a code. I think it's blocks 1, but again, I'll put it in the chat to where you can get one. They're normally 25 or 27. You can get one for 11 or you can get 2 for 20. And you can start stepping into your wisdom. I know that so many of us are here to do that bigger work. Obviously, all of you are. And we invite you to take another step. You can also, of course, join the shamanic teaching wheel. I did drop a link for that, but of course I will do that again as well. And I just want all of you to know that I am sending you the biggest hugs, and I am honored to call you my sisters.
Oh, thank you, Mindy. I love you.
I love you too, girl.
Mindy is the head of the team that makes all this happen for me, and I just love her. So the classes that she's talking about, I just wanted to say that those classes were given to me before the Lemurian teaching wheel. The Star Mother said, these first, and then the teaching wheel. So that's what those are, and that was a year's worth of classes. There are 12 altogether. Okay, and Lisa Regan Lighthouse, I want to see your wheel behind you. Oh, look at that. You have an antler in there. Very nice. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Yay. Okay, who else have I not seen? Olga, is that a wheel there I see? Yes? Okay, thank you. Here we go. There they are with your beautiful stones and the crystal in the center and the candles and sunlight coming in. So you're either in tomorrow morning or you're around where I live. Thank you, Olga. And then we have a Nancy here. Let's see hers. Beautiful, Nancy. And you have beautiful shells that look like going around the outside and a crystal in the center. They were really the Star Mothers wanted it to be a clear quartz crystal in the center, full stop. That was what they were after. All right, Eve, we're going to show yours. Oh, thanks for changing that. Oh, and that looks like Palo Santo, doesn't it? And you have some beautiful, beautiful crystal babies there. Thank you so much. Ooh-wee. All right, thanks, Eve. Okay, I want to make sure I'm not missing any. Maggie Levitt, we haven't seen yours, have we? Okay, there we go. Ah, there, it just got clear. This is a picture of it, it looks like. Beautiful. Oh, you really have some wonderful things in there. Rattles around there, and that looks like a lamp. Oh, lovely. Oh, 6 o'clock. Okay, the birds are singing. All right, let me go to another page here and see. Okay, I just have to say, this is not but it's a beautiful rainbow. But it didn't get any bigger. Okay, Carolyn, did we show yours? I can't remember. There we are. Thank you so much. Our very newest emissary. Yay. Arcana, we have yours. And yeah, it seems like it's everybody. How beautiful. Thank you, goddesses, for playing along here and bringing your light and your beauty and your love to this circle. And I think we should close with a song. What do you think? Should we sing a little song together? You leave your microphones muted, because unless we do that, it's because of the distance and time and the internet kind of thing. It gets kind of weird. So we'll all be singing by ourselves, but imagine that here we are, this choir of hundreds of people singing the I Am Sacred song. So I'm just going to sing it, and I'll sing it a couple of times so you can join in. It's really simple, and that's one of the things that Kryon said, was that the songs that we sang in Lemuria were songs to create a memory, like we have our alphabet songs, A, B, C, D, like that. So this song, I Am Sacred, was to create the memory, telling your cells, because the Star Mothers were pretty adamant about that. Okay? I am sacred, you are sacred, we are sacred ones. I am sacred, you are sacred, we are sacred ones. I am sacred, you are sacred, we are sacred ones. I am sacred, you are sacred, we are sacred ones. I am sacred, you are sacred, we are sacred ones. I am sacred, you are sacred, we are sacred ones. I am sacred, you are sacred, we are sacred ones. I am sacred, you are sacred, we are sacred ones. My biggest love to you. Mahalo, gracias. All of my thank yous in all of the languages. Danke. We are a beautiful community. We hold the light, we create the light, and we spread the light. And now the crystalline grid is activated, and I'd love to hear from you about what's going on. And if you'd like to listen to this again, I will put it on my YouTube channel, Lemurian Sisterhood Global. Lots to see there anyway. But if there's parts of this that you'd like to listen to the channel again, or see people's grids again, or recreate your own grid, please go there. I will be happy to see your comments. And again, we'd love to have you join us on Lemurian Sisterhood Global Facebook page. Love to have the goddesses join us in the Shamanic Teaching Wheel community. We are deeply delighted to continue to receive those advanced teachings from the Star Mothers. They just love us to bits. Thank you all. Thank you, Mindy, for being in my production staff, for being chief kahuna of my production staff. And thank you to all the emissaries for creating and holding a sacred space with me. I feel you there. And thank you, beautiful Monica Marani, and of course, Lee Carolyn Kryon, for all that you do and have done for my life, but for the lives of so many. Thank you again, Dr. Amber Meliha Wolf and the Pleiadian Star Mothers here for you and with you. Mwah. Aloha.